For today's episode, we take a closer look at the coffee culture in the Philippines and the rise of coffee shops in the country. Wherever you look, you can't deny that Filipinos are coffee lovers, with coffee shops popping up everywhere. And today, we're joined by a brand that's been around roughly 3 years, but it has successfully made on rather brewed in name itself. In a highly competitive market, Jaime González Fernández, co-founder of Pickup Coffee, welcome to Trade Talks. Jaime, thank you so much for making time for us this weekend. I appreciate it. I'm sure you're powered by caffeine at the moment.
I am. Thank you so much for having us. It is
Thank
our
you.
pleasure.
So let's get down to business. Tell me, how did you start Pickup Coffee?
Well, we started Pickup Coffee because we saw in the region, in other places like Indonesia, Malaysia, there were affordable coffee shops that were popping up. And we realized in the Philippines there was none. So we said, well, sayang, let's do something to change it. So we actually said, why not start the very first local Filipino chain of affordable, fast, high quality coffee made by Filipinos for Filipinos. And that's actually what ignited the idea.
How did you get to this business here in the Philippines? Where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Spain, and I was lucky enough to visit the country in 2017 for the first time, and it was basically love at first sight. I had never been in a young country my entire life, because Europe and the United States are not that young. And when I landed in the Philippines, I felt almost overwhelmed by how many young people there was, and that means there is lots of energy. There is lots of opportunity. So I told myself, rather than going back to my hometown, why not go to the Philippines and try to, make something big and add value to the country.
Yeah, that's amazing, of course. I live here, so I know exactly what you're talking about. But did you see that there was a need for other coffee shops, or even, as you said, the local coffee chain in the Philippines when you moved here? Is that a brainchild, or was it a light bulb when you moved here?
The coffee idea itself happened a little bit after.
Okay.
But it's true that in the Philippines, there is a gap between 3-in-1 and the more advanced and more refined coffee shops.
The bulk of the market don't normally go to coffee shops, or chain coffee shops that that are popular, that are foreign.
Correct.
But we are a 3-in-1 culture. It's the instant coffee culture.
Correct.
So how did you decide to maybe pivot that? Are you getting converts from the 3-in-1 coffee drinkers to the drip coffee or brewed coffee culture?
Well, I think Pickup Coffee appeals to everybody, and it depends on the situation, right? So when you order Pickup Coffee, it means you want something that's high quality, you want something that's fast, you want something that's reliable, and you want something that's nearby. It's accessible and it's affordable, right? And that's when you want Pickup Coffee. And it can be somebody who was used to, drinking a much more expensive coffee, but it can also be somebody who used to drink 3-in-1 at home and now can afford Pickup Coffee on the way to the workplace, or in the workplace, in the lobby or across the street, and then all of a sudden starts enjoying, high quality espresso-based beverages.
So I invited you on Trade Talks today because I've been seeing your trucks everywhere. And I know you personally, but I didn't know the extent of it until I went up to the north, and you still had outlets there. So for how many outlets do you have at the moment?
So we are now at 315.
For 3 years, so that's roughly over 100 per year.
Yeah, not even 3 years. So actually we opened our first online store February 24th. 3 years ago.
Online, okay.
Yeah, that's how we started. Because
that's
it was
an unusual concept, actually.
Yeah. Remember, it was still pandemic.
Yes.
So our very first store was online, and for the first, I think it was 3 months.
This is a pandemic baby.
Correct. It was when we were getting out of the pandemic.
Yes.
And then everybody was looking for new things to do because we had been in lockdown for so long. And at the beginning, it was kind of tricky.
Yes.
To find a place to set up because it was still, lockdown and all those things. So we started online. It's gonna be February 24th, 3 years ago. And the first brick and mortar, like the first cart, we opened in May.
Yes,
so
but this is interesting to me. How do you do online sales on coffee? Is it the same as food delivery?
Yeah, exactly the same.
Because I gotta be honest, I'm not a coffee drinker, so I don't know the culture well.
Yeah.
So I want you to educate me in regard to this. But Okay, of course, coffee is a hot beverage.
Correct.
Mostly, of course, you've got those iced coffees and stuff like that. So how do you manage quality when people are booking online and delivery to them? Doesn't it get colder?
You would be surprised. Most of the sales are iced drinks because it's more appealing to Filipinos. It's refreshing. It looks bigger.
Yeah, because of our
the
weather,
ice.
obviously. Yeah.
Correct. So it's actually how to make sure that the drink doesn't get hot rather than the coffee not getting cold, because most of the sales are actually for ice drinks.
So what percentage of your sales are ice drinks?
I would say north of 80% are ice drinks.
80%.
Correct.
And over 300 kiosks in the country right now. Is it mostly in Luzon or you have in the Visayas?
We are throughout the Philippines. So we have in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. So we are all the way, as far as Baguio, La Union, and then all the way down to Davao.
What's the business model here? Is it a franchise or is it all company owned?
All of the stores are company owned. And we think that's the way to 100% control the quality, 100% control the experience, and 100% control the brand. And so far, that's how we're going about it. Eventually, we may start franchising in the future, but for more strategic decisions, because the Philippines is 7,000 islands,
yes.
So it's very difficult to get to some places. But for now, it's all company owned.
Yes, you mentioned a good word, difficulty. What are the challenges? Because if you're operating over 300 outlets from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, obviously there's logistics concerns. There are supply chain concerns. What are you looking into in terms of challenges and concerns with?
So I guess the biggest challenge for us, Ferdi, was culture, right?
Okay.
Why? Because we went from 0 to now around 2,000 Pickup Coffee employees within a matter of 3 years. So it's very difficult to set up a culture so fast, right? And if you don't have a culture, it means you don't have the foundations to grow. Because if we all have the same culture, then we all behave in the same way. We may make some mistakes here and there, and we're all humans, that's okay. But as long as we have the same culture, we all behave in the same way. So a coffee that is served in Davao will be served in the same way than a coffee served in Makati and a coffee served, in Bulacan. So that's actually quite challenging because you grow very fast and you grow in areas that are very different, areas that speak, different languages, even different religions. So that for me was the biggest part. Then, there is always the day-to-day challenges like logistics and, the tire blew and then you need to vulcanize it and all those things. But, that happens to every business. So I think getting the culture right and getting the culture right from 0 to 2,000 people, from 0 to 300 stores within so many islands.
What's the general culture of your business?
Yeah, so we want to uplift every Filipino by offering quality, by offering accessibility, by offering innovation. And we want that to translate to how we approach our customers, how we approach our work, and how we approach what we do on a day-to-day basis when we talk to other people within Pickup Coffee and outside Pickup Coffee.
Jaime, there's a strong sense of love local in the country. I'm sure you're familiar with it because you're already Filipinoized.
Correct.
How does that translate to your offerings and your products? Do you use Filipino-produced beans, or do you mix it? Is that a trade secret? Or?
No, man. So our first drink is Cape Castilla. So
Okay.
I don't think it gets more Filipino. We even changed from Spanish latte to Cape Castilla, and of course by uplifting so many Filipinos every day, because we do sell a lot of drinks every day. So north of 70,000 a day, which is a lot.
70,000 cups a day.
North of that, yeah, and growing. So
Okay.
it's a lot of, cups that uplift, so many Filipinos per day. So our drinks assortment, we try to cater as much as possible. Not only for the menu that's there all the time, but also for the LTOs, so the limited time offerings that we do for St. Valentine's or we do for Christmas. Flavors like Buko Pandan and other flavors are very, very catered to the Philippines. And in
Buko Pandan coffee.
Yeah.
That's unusual.
We have it for Christmas, yeah.
Oh, okay. So you are now, obviously, like you said, your LTOs, limited time offers. That's flavors that I've never heard of that's infused in coffee. What are the crazy flavors you have? Now I'm more interested.
Yeah, we have a creative team coming up with new flavors all the time. I guess Buko Pandan is probably a strong one. Also, coconut. We try to play with coconut and even avocado. So you know how in the Philippines people like putting avocado in ice cream and cheese in ice cream?
Yes.
So we actually used to have an avocado latte that was extremely popular. So yeah, Filipinos are always welcome to try
Ube, do you use ube?
We have ube, wow, of course. We have a ube latte, which is extremely popular. And we also have, tried to add ube to other drinks.
So I guess this would be your unique selling point. Because you play with flavors, right? I wouldn't be surprised if you have a durian coffee offering in Davao. I'm sure it's going to be very popular, right? Tell your creative team that's mine, okay?
Okay. Bye, Ferdi.
And I'm sure my Director Carrie, will appreciate more ube offerings. But anyway, it's how do you compete aside from your unique flavors? How do you compete with the bigger global coffee chains here that's very popular? I mean, people go to this particular coffee chain just to get mugs and merch and stuff like that. So how do you fare versus them?
So number one, the value proposition needs to be very strong, and that's where we come in with the pricing, with the quality, with the accessibility, with the affordability. So that needs to be there, and that is the foundations of what we offer. And then we just need to deliver on that 70,000 times a day, right?
I'm going to get back to that time. We're going to take a quick break. Trade Talks. We'll be right back.
Get to the latest stories.
The Philippines bags a historic bronze at the 2025 Asia-Pacific Women's Lacrosse Championship.
The updates.
Table tennis power duo siblings brought home medals from the WTT Youth Contender.
The scores and what to celebrate in the world of sports.
I'm Anton Rojas.
And I'm Erica Christensen.
On the scorecard.
Where sports is our business.
Business is our sport.
Only here on BNC, the Billionario News Channel.
Hello and welcome to Follow the Money. I'm Rain Musni. Join us as we explore the tools and insights you need to jumpstart your financial journey.
We empower.
This country deserves a real choice in the next election.
We motivate.
Do not invest money that you're not able to afford to lose.
Changes that are vital.
We're monitoring the sale of these products online.
Follow the Money with Rain Musni.
Keep it here on the Billionario News Channel. Always on top.
We're facing a climate crisis, and baby steps will no longer do. Sa sustainable real estate, every building counts. Kilalanin si Raymond Rufino ng NIO, ang nangunguna sa Green Building Revolution. Tunghayan ang kwento ni Raymond Rufino dito lang sa Usapang Bilyonaryo, ngayong Lunes, 8:30 p.m. sa Billionario News Channel.
Welcome back to Trade Talks. Let's continue our chat with Jaime González Fernández of Pickup Coffee. So we were talking about competitiveness and price points. What are your price points?
So our entry price point is 50 peso. So our Americano is 50 peso.
Affordable.
Affordable, very affordable. And our prices go up to around 100. Sometimes if you want to upsize or you want to add like a special milk or add things on top, it can get beyond that, like 110, 120. But we try to stay as much as possible within 50 to 100 for all the drinks within our menu.
So I guess the business model here is obviously, fast movement, fast velocity of your offerings to be able to serve over 300 outlets a day.
Correct.
At 7,000 cups, over 7,000 cups a day. What is the sweet spot for Pickup Coffee to be serving in one day?
Well, that's the beauty of Pickup Coffee, right? So Pickup Coffee is a model that adapts very well to the location. So we can have Pickup Coffees that are small as 6 square meters, and we have other pickup coffees that are bigger, 100, 120, 130, right? So
But please educate me. I thought pickup coffee were just
most of what we
mobile,
have
like
is cards or kiosks,
Yes.
but we do have some physical locations.
okay, a brick and mortar.
Brick and mortars, because
Okay.
there is some places where you cannot open a cart or you cannot open a kiosk, and there is like a brick and mortar available. So we do that, and we also have more elevated stores. We call them Pickup Prime. We have a few, and we will be developing more of those. So in those Pickup Prime, we have an additional offering, not only of drinks but also food. So, and there is, more seating space. It's a more elevated ambiance.
Why elevate the product that's or brand that's already working?
Yeah, because in different moments of your day or different moments of your week, you're looking for different things, right? So most of the time, you may be looking for a coffee on the go, let's say Monday through Saturday. But then on Sunday, you may want to sit down with your friends and chat for a couple of hours and actually sit down and enjoy coffee, right? So for those situations, you can go to Pickup Prime and enjoy those 2 hours, 3 hours sitting down having a chat, right? So we try to cater and be as close as possible to the needs of our customers and deliver for them within the week and within the day, right? So that from 7 to 10 we have you covered, and from Monday through Sunday we have you covered. No matter where you are, whether you travel to Davao, to Cebu, have a breakfast coffee in the morning, or have an afternoon matcha, we have you covered.
Because Jaime, that's a completely different business model altogether, in my point of view. Because your kiosks, right, the trucks, that's a straightforward formula.
Correct.
But now, if you're infusing hot food or sandwiches, I don't know what you have currently for Pickup Prime. Then you go add on to to variables that can be of concern, like again, supply chain, and if you're doing it all over the country, you got to make sure that you've got ready suppliers within the vicinity or logistically, right?
Correct. We're just talking about a small percentage of the total number of stores.
Okay.
So let's say,
is this part of the 300 plus already?
Yeah, but
okay.
it's only a handful, right? So
Okay.
it's not a big amount.
Yes.
And we will continue to grow them, but only like in specific locations to cater to specific needs within our whole network. But the core will still be to do what we're doing now, which is very fast, relatively small locations, affordable, nearby, accessible, and on the go. Yeah.
In your network, please mind the pun, but what are your hot spots? Where in the provinces, what are your major hot spots? Are you talking about tourist destinations or more local catered outlets?
No, almost all our stores cater to local Filipinos.
Okay.
We don't have any store like in Boracay or like touristy places like that, right?
Why? I would be surprised. I would be surprised. I'm surprised rather.
Yeah.
Because that's an easy target for you because you've got buying power basically.
Correct. Well, I guess we don't know what we don't know, and we need to find out, right? So we have opened enough locations in like hospitals, in like transportation hubs, in BPOs, in residential areas, in office areas, that we know how those behave, right? And we feel comfortable with them.
So you're doing this for the underserved spots.
100%, yeah.
Was that the business model from the beginning?
Well, yeah, it was the business model since the beginning was to cater to everything that is between 3-in-1 and very or high-priced coffees, yet delivering on the quality and very close to our customers.
That's interesting, Jaime, because you mentioned BPOs and locations like that. So obviously the operations is
24/7.
24/7.
Correct.
All right, understood.
We have many locations that are 24/7, and even if there is no BPO, which is the obvious, we try to have at least one in every city, so we can cater to the online platforms like Grab and Foodpanda 24/7, right? So
Yes.
it doesn't matter where you are, doesn't matter what time of the day you want a coffee, you actually have it.
Jaime, my head is spinning right now just thinking about your operations capabilities because if it's 24 hours operations and 2,000 people, what is your operation structure to cater to this? I mean, obviously you've got you then turn out to be a BPO as well because you've got the evening shift for operations. I mean, I'm sure they're calling in,
Yep.
orders and.
Correct. So I guess we started little by little, but very fast. So at the beginning, we had like, one operations manager, and then operations manager and area manager, and then operations manager, area manager, and district manager, and then little by little, we grew our structure so that we can have, enough oversight, and we can actually feel what's happening in our locations and have the tentacles to, whenever something happens, be able to act on it. And it's true, it's 24/7 and it's 365.
Do you and your co-founders actually sleep? Because
we do. I mean, we do. We didn't sleep much at the beginning because we were, as you say, the first line of defense.
Yes.
But now we have a fantastic team, and we all help each other. So sometimes, you are the first line of defense, but then there is somebody else to help with that.
Yeah. Who are your co-founders in the business?
Yeah. So Diego Lorenzo, Maribien Lee, and Kiko. So we were the ones who started Pickup Coffee 3 years ago.
Oh my goodness! I'm just baffled with the time from when you opened, from less than 3 years, as you said, to the number of outlets you have. It's not our practice actually to ask you what the net worth is, but I think I'm going to ask you privately later of the business. Is let's get in trouble, right? So last question for you, Jaime. What's your biggest mistake
in Pickup Coffee?
In life?
Wow, that's a very interesting question. I guess not coming to the Philippines earlier, only realizing 2017. I cannot think of any concrete example. I guess that could be one.
So life is perfect.
So far, it's going well.
And always picked up.
Always picked up and uplifted, correct.
Uplifted. All right, thank you so much, Jaime, for being on our show today, and thank you very much for educating. My head's still spinning with your business model. Okay, thank you so much. We'll have a chat after this as well.
Thank you so much for having us.
And that is it for today's show. I'm Ferdi Salvador. Stay up to date on what's new in business and industry trends shaping the economy here on Trade Talks. Catch us again tomorrow, only here on BNC, the Billionaire News Channel.